Hello and welcome to episode 22 of Unqualified Game Chat. I am your host, Azario Lopez, and with me is my co-host, Spencer, the Legacy.
What is up? It's me, Spencer, the Legacy. Hello, everyone.
How are you today? You're looking sharp in your Sunday's best.
We're finally allowed to get haircuts in Ontario. So I got one today.
In Ontario, you have to wear button-ups when you go get
Yeah, you have to dress in your Sunday best to go get a haircut. You have to. It's like when I fly. I'm like, does nobody dress up for haircuts anymore? Everybody wearing graphic tees.
When I fly in a plane, I don't know how to dress because every time the gap in between me flying is always so long, so I forget in that time period. Like, oh, how do I get comfortable in this chair? And by the time that I find the specific level of comfort,
the ride's
over.
I just wear my game journalist attire, which is pretty much this. Because you got no time between landing and that show floor. Yeah,
I've drifted away from the open flannel, like everyone, like all the other hipster guys do. Whenever I tell my riders, if we're going to events, we all dress in J. Crew. Everybody. Also, if you don't have a nice little polo logo on your pocket,
don't bother coming.
Don't bother fucking coming.
Don't bother flying out.
You stay the fuck
You're not
home.
Wearing Gucci? I don't think so. You're not embarrassing Noisy Pixel. Sorry, not sorry. Get out of here.
Get that fucking fake Steve Madden shit out of here.
Oh, nice. You're wearing. Oh, what is that? Costco brand? Yeah.
Did you buy that at Ross? Get the fuck out of my face.
Oh, there was a sale at Walmart, I see. Very nice $7 shirt. Get the fuck out. I say owning multiple shirts of that variety, they're very comfortable to sleep in. What can I say?
It hurts because it's true.
It's true. Too real. It's too true.
But before I hit the age of 30, I was wearing the open flannels, and I was also very much overweight. And I distinctly remember this GDC event where, if no one knows, GDC is based in San Francisco, and it takes place in this one central area, but nobody has meetings in that central area. They have it 4 blocks away. So stupid me, I book a Bandai Namco meeting in this one area, and then 5 or 7 blocks away is a Nintendo meeting back to back.
Yep.
And so I had to run in the rain, and me, sluggish Azario at the time, running in the rain, I could just go a block, and I'm like speed running, sweating, and with rain, and I could taste my
gross.
But
oh man,
I remember I was wearing a very thick flannel, and it just got soaked. Like, it just soaked up the rain as if it was a sponge. And I walk into the Nintendo
Shigeru
event.
Miyamoto stares at you. He goes,
he just shakes his head. He doesn't even say, "Oh fuck." He shakes his head and he leaves the room.
Throws a little Pikmin plush at you and he leaves.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of my face. And ever since then, I've been always a jacket, always a weatherproof jacket. I remember I went back to Bandai Namco later that day just to finish this bad story. Went to the band, and they saw how drenched I was, and they ended up giving me this like Pac-Man sweater, which was really nice of them.
Wow.
So, yeah, so shout out to them for really caring about me when no one else would. Not even
Thank
myself.
You, Bandai. I love you, Bandai. You guys make anime games. You give out hoodies.
It might have been because I was the only member of press there excited about their mobile SAO game. But
Probably. That was probably definitely a contributing factor.
But I digress. Yeah, it was it's been a long time coming. I feel like dressing nicer is just a form of respect for the
It's
people
true.
that you're interviewing. And there's something to say about being a hipster and dressing cool, but I think cool is subjective.
I think it's cool to be respectful.
You
Yeah.
know what? You know what's not cool? Me having this towel on the back there.
It's because you're working up such a sweat with the podcast.
I took a shower today.
Nice.
I did it,
Proud of you.
and I got a bunch of press releases as I was getting out of the shower. So in a last ditch effort to write them before everyone else, I nakedly ran to my room. I covered my chair with a nice towel,
Oh, smart.
and I was here in the nude.
Nice. Now that's dedication. You know what? If you don't write news releases with your dick out,
You're clearly not doing it
who are
right.
you? Yeah.
I'll tell you, yeah, in California right now, we're having a huge heat wave. You know what? On the West Coast and in Portland, it was 118 degrees the other day.
Oh,
So it was 105 today. So I'm not messing around with the heat.
people are literally dying of heat here in Canada because we're not used to it.
It's like 80
I shouldn't
degrees.
have laughed after I said that.
What a fucking loser.
It's genuinely tragic, but it's crazy how hot it is.
With that said,
Yeah.
this podcast is recorded every week and posted
week.
podcast services on Thursdays. You got your YouTubes. We have a video if you want to watch it. We have it on iTunes, Apple. Wait, those are the same thing. iHeartRadio.
Apple, iPods.
And that's it. And
You
yeah,
say Spotify?
Spotify too. We're right next to Joe Rogan.
Yeah, we're gonna eclipse Joe. Pull that up, Jamie.
I get these emails that are like, Unqualified Game Chat is one of the top 10 gaming podcasts on iTunes. And I'm thinking, like, you fucking liar. Like, what spam fucking, like...
Or it means like nobody's on iTunes anymore.
Yeah.
That's possible.
It's clearly me to, like, pay for a service. Like, it was one of those emails, you know? Like,
Yeah.
hey, let's pay you for ads. Can we inject some of these links into your articles for $100?
Yeah.
The fuck out of here. You don't know Noisy Pixel, because if you knew, you would offer $110.
And you would go through our affiliate link. Thank you.
But that's clearly, we have not a lot to talk about this week.
Yeah. Nothing much has happened.
But I think people are here for you and I just as much
Yeah.
as they're here for the video games. So, what have you been playing this week?
Well, I've been playing it for a couple weeks. Flashback. I said last time I can't talk about what I'm playing.
Oh, dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Now I can because it's out. I was playing Disgaea 6 for a long time. I really like Disgaea. I played the first two on my PSP when I was a wee boy. I thought it was like the funniest game ever, and I still think it's really charming and funny. But I was obsessed with it when I was in like grade 8 because I saw advertisements for it in Shonen Jump. So I was like, clearly this has got to be a good game if the cool Naruto magazine is telling me to go play it. So I was excited for 6, and you know what? It turned out pretty nicely, other than the really weird performance issues that a Switch game has.
It's so
weird.
Dude, that's the shitty thing about Switch too, is that
Yeah.
they can't keep this up, man. They can't keep
True.
there's no way, at least with third parties. It used to be this way back in the day where you'd have 4 developers working on the same game. You know, you'd have like 6 different versions of Tony Hawk across Game Boy Advance, you know.
Fucking 18 versions of a Harry Potter game.
Exactly, but all from different like little publishers, little licensed publishers or developers, sorry. So they're not good. Third parties aren't going to do this anymore. they're gonna fund the one game on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
And if they do fund it to be ported to Switch, I don't think they would. You know, have you ever played a cloud Switch game?
No, I know
I,
they exist, but
yeah,
I'm like I can just play it on another console.
yeah, I have it, and just the thought of it just leaves a bad taste in my
Spooks
mouth.
me. Makes me go
Yeah,
ooh.
yeah. I'm not even playing the game. I'm playing internet version of it. Like, am I playing
Yeah.
it in a browser or something? What the fuck is going on
Is it
here?
really on the Switch then?
Yeah,
Is it?
yeah. It's But if I walk away too far away from my router, is it going to get all JPEGy?
Yeah.
You
It's
know
weird.
you know what I mean by JPEGy too.
I know exactly what you mean. It's when you drop one bar and you're watching YouTube.
Yeah.
That's the exact thing that's going to happen to that game.
Yeah, I don't want to mess around with the cloud versions of games, but I can't imagine that gets switched very far. They need to come out with a 4K device. They need to come out with something. You know, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. They should keep the Switch as this dual console, but their next console just drop the portability. Make the Switch your new DS. You know,
Yeah, why not? That'd be
and then
interesting.
make a new home console that's just a 4K device, still with some proprietary shit that they love to put in their
HD
consoles.
Rumble.
Yeah, just like weird shit that they love to do, but I'm just gonna feel really bad when it goes back to the old days.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, the Switch could keep up with the PS4 and Xbox One, but I don't know. I don't know about this, especially looking at Disgaea 6. Not even a graphically intensive
It's
game.
not. That's why it's so weird. It's not a game that should be dropping frames in like your base when you're
Yeah,
not in a fight.
yeah, and worse in the fight when there's like a lot of enemies. It's just
Yeah.
embarrassing. It's embarrassing too because that's the only version available in the West.
Yeah, because there's a PS4 version in Japan. And
Yeah.
like you can put it on performance mode, but
Mhm.
you shouldn't have to put a Switch SRPG on
On
performance mode.
Oh, and it looks bad even in performance mode.
Yeah.
Like it looks like you need to put your glasses on or something, or you
Yeah,
need
it's a
to
little blurry.
adjust the autofocus or something.
Yeah, it's a little blurry, which is a disappointment because a lot of stuff in it is good. Like they make it easier than ever to level grind because there's auto battle,
There's auto
which
battle.
you can turn on while you're, I don't know, writing the review for the game. you can you can level grind all the time. It's great. You can, there's ways to gain experience quickly if you want to make certain characters and make them like have a specific stat set. You can make your own AI basically as well to like do specific actions for you in auto battle mode, like the Gambit system from Final Fantasy 12. There's so many cool new features. I know they cut some of the generic classes and people are upset about that, but I'm not really too sour about that. But it's there's so much fun stuff and the story is a lot of fun and the characters are great. And I've really enjoyed it, but I just wish it ran better because that's my only issue with it. Like I've had so much fun playing through it and I put like 40 hours so far and I'm still going to do more. Um, and it's just like it's made me want to run back and like replay the old ones because I was like, oh man, I missed this like maniacal tone with like bratty protagonists and like goofy shit everywhere and printies. So I immediately Amazon ordered Disgaea 1 complete so I could go back to that.
Oh,
I'm sure
nice.
it'll be difficult with all the features I now am used to.
Yeah, you're so used to auto battle, and you have
Yeah.
to actually play this
I
game.
have to play this game?
The
Excuse
fuck?
me?
The
Oh,
fuck?
no. Fuck this. No, but yeah, like it's a very charming and fun game and I think it's also a great entry point if you've never played this Gaia because of the new features. So, I think it's a really fun game that you can get into no matter what and you can level grind like crazy and you can do it without having to do it yourself if you don't want to. And I hope we get the PS4 version at some point because playing it in a way that looks nice with no issues, should be the standard. But it'd be nice for them to fix that because I really enjoyed it otherwise. But yeah, what have you been playing, Azario?
Well, I think this will come into our discussion for the day.
Ooh.
But I have not actually been playing anything. I did, however, capture footage of a review that we have on the website right now. So essentially, I did play it while I was capturing footage for it for the video that we put out today. So I played Spencer Legacy. I played Doki Doki Literature Club Plus.
I've never played any of them, but I know everything about it because it dominated YouTube when it came out.
I'll say this. Good for you. Good for you, writer of Doki Doki Literature Club. I believe his name is Dan. But it's incredible reading this game and knowing that there's a standard of how a story structure should be. And as a first visual novel, your first created work, this game works. But once you play something good, it totally blows this one away. It's as if you're reading. It's as if you're reading like a mangaka. There's stuff from there's like a popular one.
Oh, it's like you read JoJo and you go back to Bao.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
you read Dragon Ball, you go back to Sandland or Dr. Slump.
Yeah, and I don't want to knock the guy because this is his first work and it was kind of like handed to him, like this popularity because he put it out for free and people ended up really liking it.
Mm-hmm.
But the writing is just bad. The character writing, the pacing,
Now, is it like that to parody visual novels in a way, or do you think it's just a genuine problem?
I looked into it, and what happened was the story goes is that he played Hatoful Boyfriend, and that was his first visual novel, and then he made this game because he wanted to make a visual novel. He ended up copying a lot from You and Me and Her, A Love Story, which is a game from Nitro Plus that kind of touches on the same subject, albeit a little more intense than this one in terms of graphical stuff. But there's a lot of resemblances, and he'll tell you that he never played that game before he wrote this Doki Doki Literature Club. So I guess my head automatically compares it to that game, and I hated it. I hated the interaction where because during gameplay you have to create. It just says pick these keywords to create a story for the characters or to create a poem. And so you pick 20 at a time and then you share them with each of the girls. And then some of the words that you pick one of the girls will like more. So you could pick the same theme over and over if you want to spend time with one of the girls. And then there's this character, Monica, who is just like this outlier in the whole story and the president of the Doki Doki Literature Club. But she kind of takes the narrative in a different direction, and the game turns into like this horror themed stuff. I just don't see the appeal. I didn't review it. We ended up giving it a 6.5 out of 10. Jacob reviewed it. He played it before and he used to really like it. And I think it's the fact that now you're paying money for it.
Yeah.
So now all the issues are like you can criticize it now because for free you're just like, oh, this is free. Like I'm gonna look past these this convoluted section, this weird plot line, these haphazard character interactions. But once you put a price on it, it's like, fuck, like, hey, dude, like, there's new content added to the game, but it has it's supposed to give you insight onto the characters, but the new content only makes things more confusing as there's no protagonist in the new content. It's kind of showing you what they were doing before the events.
Yeah.
And it makes no sense. It makes no sense. I read it. I haven't read it before, and it's only about 6 hours long. Maybe 5. I don't know. It felt longer than it should have been. But
Is it worth experiencing once?
I think
No.
I think by now everyone's already told you what happens, or you've
Yeah.
seen some meme, and that's it. Like, that's it. This release changed nothing. This release updated none of the text. It's the same story, same. I think some of the assets were brought to HD or something happened there, but it's the same story. So if you've played it before, I don't know why you would want to play it again. It's a kinetic visual novel. There's really nothing to, and now it takes place on a virtual machine because there's something that it does in the game that you have to kind of do something. And again, this happens in You and Me and Her, a love story, which is one of those weird coincidences. But if you want to play a game that will fucking mess you up in a better way than this game did, play You and Me and Her, a love story, instead of. Maybe I'm just a hater on Western visual novel writers.
Are there a lot of Western visual? Now, for context, I know almost nothing about visual novels. This is basically our topic. I know nothing about visual novels outside of the ones that you told me don't count, like Ace Attorney and Danganronpa.
Danganronpa does count, but it's more of an adventure game.
Yeah. And like we were talking about AI, the Somnium Files. Does that count? There's that an adventure game? No?
It's an adventure game.
So I'm trying to think if I've ever played like a visual novel then. Okay, so I remember playing Disgaea Infinite. That was a visual novel.
Was it?
It was. I remember playing that when I was a teenager. I don't remember anything about it, but I remember playing it. That's as close as I can get. So are there a lot of Western visual novels? Or
there are, and some of them can be pretty good. I think the bigger issue with Western authors is in just Western writers in general is that there's always this demand for like a hero, you know. There's this demand for excitement. On the flip side of that, you have people wanting to just redo what Japanese authors already did. Like, I'm a visual novel fan. I played a game that I really like, and now I'm going to do something exactly like this, but my own way, you know?
The same thing people do with, Metroidvanias or with RPG Maker games. Like they play something that inspires them. They want to make something like what they loved. Yeah.
And then it falls short because you just don't have the talent, the artist talent, and then you don't have the writing talent. And I don't know. There is some. I've played some good Western visual novels, I think, but they might have been. I can't think of the names, but they might have been from like Germany and some of them from Brazil.
Yeah.
U.S. specifically. I mean, there's Hot to Full Boyfriend, but I didn't even like that. There was that one game, that one where you played like it's like that detective game that just came out from the writers of Hot to Full Boyfriend.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The one with like the
robot
iPad with like a glove.
No, it was like the girl and the robot guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like typing detective or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That one was okay. This is nice and purpley and colorful. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't have anything against Western visual novel writers. I just if you know any good ones, recommend them to me. I'll play them. I'll expand my
And I'll go a step further and say, tell me good visual novels in general, because I have no experience at all, and I want to know what's
dude,
out there.
I feel like if you haven't played them now, like I don't know, play Steins Gate. Like
Oh, I watched that anime. I cheated.
yeah, play Steins Gate. I don't know. Thinking of
Oh, you know what? I played 999. Does that count? Shit. I keep
It's like
thinking I've got it.
that's like an escape room visual novel adventure
It's
game.
true.
I mean, it is. I guess you could say you could.
See, I don't even know what a visual novel is. Give me your recommendation.
Well, that's subjective. I feel like because you could say a visual novel is 999, and people will say that it's a visual novel. There's some that might. I mean, but I consider visual novels to be just kinetic, almost, with maybe some choices.
Non-interactive.
Maybe some choices, but largely just reading. And there's no gameplay portions. There's it's just a story.
You're a purist of it.
I just want to separate the two because then it allows me to do like best adventure game and best visual novel.
Get that extra SEO.
Yeah, I'm greasing a few palms and as many as I can.
Yeah, they're different types of games.
Yeah, that's but I guess it's subjective. I mean, you can call those visual novels, but I would say that that there is that they're different. I guess we can talk about our next subject now. The Somnium Files nirvanA initiative has been announced. It stars Mizuki, one of the characters from the first game, and she is now a special agent, and she's solving a crime. I could read the description from the publisher.
Sure.
So, 6 years ago, the right half of a corpse was discovered under mysterious circumstances. The left half was never found until 6 years later, when it was discovered completely fresh with no signs of decay, as though the victim was alive until just recently. Now, newly appointed Special Agent Mizuki and her AI partner, Aiba, are tasked to solve the bizarre half-body serial killings.
That sounds pretty intriguing, I gotta say.
I'm going to say it sounds pretty stupid.
One and the same. I like some goofy shit.
It is so dumb.
Where's Date? I want to know where that pervy man is.
They'll save that. I will tell you that scenario writer Kotaro Uchikoshi is back, and it has the same characters designer. Kozaki-san is coming back as character designer. So it's the full team. And the Somnium Files was a weird hit for me.
I loved it.
I don't think we got sales numbers in the West, but I don't know. I feel like more people should play this game. And I don't know. Like, it has cool key art. It has a cool, like, detective theme, but it didn't seem to get that much love.
It is strange because it did a lot of really interesting stuff. And, like, the characters were all a lot of fun to follow. And the story was intriguing enough that I wasn't like, you reach one ending and you're like, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, like I want to see why that is the way it is. It seemed like the kind of game that would do moderately well here. Like it had a dub and everything too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, it seems like it. I'm surprised that it didn't take off at all, but maybe this will be the push. I don't know, because like similar games have taken off. Like Danganronpa got really big here. Like surprised. Like I remember reading it on the Something Awful forums because I didn't know if we'd ever get it, and then it blew up, and I was like, "Damn, I can buy the games." I thought this would do the same.
I can attribute a lot of that blow up though to at the time at IGN, Colin Moriarty would write about Danganronpa a lot, and then after he left, nobody covered the Danganronpa news or any NIS America stuff. So, I mean, when IGN covers shit, it does significantly better. And they if ever covered the Somnium Files.
It's gonna be me when I work at IGN. I'm just gonna write about the Somnium Files and Disgaea.
I think they should have dropped the Somnium Files name and just did nirvanA Initiative.
Yeah.
I don't think calling it because then it sounds like a DLC.
It's wordy.
Yeah, because the Somnium Files 1 was the Somnium Files, you know? Yeah. But it wasn't the Somnium Files, a new subtext, you know, like Dante's non-inferno. I don't know.
The Somnium File, Dante must die mode.
Yeah, so this sounds like a DLC, and at first I was like, maybe it is. It's not coming out till spring 2022, but it is coming to all platforms. And there's like some weird wording around the platforms. Like PlayStation said it was coming to PS5, but they're not announcing it for PS5. And some places they're saying that it's coming to Series X, but then like their limited edition doesn't have a Series X available.
That whole announcement was kind of messy.
Yeah. So on that note, they had a timer that was counting down, and at 0, it was supposed to reveal the trailer. But if you look at their they had a syntax error in their code. Where they're missing a comma or something like that, and it was just redoing kind of this recursive loop. And so like everyone else had scheduled tweets, like PlayStation and everyone, so those went out when scheduled, but it was kind of messy. Honestly, too, is at 5 p.m. Don't come on,
that's the end of the workday.
Do Japanese publishers realize that no journalist of any notoriety? I mean, your polygons are all asleep right now. They're out drinking paps or whatever they drink.
What's a pap?
It's like the hipster beer. It's a Pabst.
Oh, okay.
Pabst.
I'm still young and uneducated in the world.
It's okay. I don't drink either. So, but there's So
it's a weird time to announce it.
Yeah, and they always do this. You had NIS America doing their fucking huge ass Falcom stream the other day at 10 p.m. at night out on the West Coast. So it was 1 a.m. for you, announcing 4 like super anticipated games that you could have sold IGN the exclusive on that, and they probably would have ran it. Like, learn how to do your fucking job, PR. You know, like if you're trying to get this game out, we'll cover it anyway, you know. But that whole announcement is a thing in of itself. And then you had the Geofront things, and did you read into that?
No, what's that?
So Geofront is a team of fan translators who did Azure and one of the other ones.
Yeah, okay, I know a little bit about it, and they're like releasing that now through Nice.
Yeah, so they pulled their patch, so you can't download it through them anymore. I'm sure people are sharing it everywhere else. But you had like writers from other websites with them. And what rubbed me the wrong way is that they knew that these were announcements were coming out, but their website was still announcing it as, I don't know. It's messy shit like that.
Yeah.
That we all have to take a step back and realize, well, maybe this is all just a game. Maybe video games are just video games.
Put that on a shirt. That's our first Unqualified Game Chat merch. Maybe video games are just video games.
I thought when the Somnium Files second loop was going, like it was just 10 seconds, I was like, what if this is it?
I thought it was a gimmick too.
We're all stuck in this 10-second loop forever. And after 999 10-second loops, we'll finally see the 4th entry in the 999 series.
I was like, oh man, maybe this is like, it's a game about time travel and like going back and trying to do something different every time. But then it was like, no, it's a syntax error.
I find it funny that Uchikoshi leaves Spike Chunsoft only to do another Spike Chunsoft game. And,
Yeah.
and it really goes to show that like launching your own business is fucking hard because World's End Club seriously had a lack of budget. And I mean, they released it on Apple Arcade, so they got some money back. But I don't know. It's tough out there.
It's tough out there.
You would expect it's the reason being is that if you start your own studio, you don't own any of those IPs. He doesn't own 999, which sucks. Spike Chunsoft owns it. But it seems like they're on good terms enough to create these games together because officially he still doesn't work for them. I think they're just paying him as a worker. So he probably has a lot more time, leeway, not so many deadlines, doesn't have to go into the office every day. So it might be nice.
Yeah, it might be like a handy loophole where he doesn't technically work for them, but he has the benefit of it.
Yeah. And anything to fund Tukio Games' other projects. Because you can't keep recycling these death game ideas. It's nice, it's cool, but we can't do another Danganronpa, you know?
Yeah.
We're never. There has to be something of notoriety here. There has to be something that these writers can do, and I think the Somnium Files is such a different style of game than what Uchikoshi has done before, just this detective game, and I think it really suits him.
I think so as well.
So it works. It works. I hope that they fix some of like the adventure elements where I don't know, it was just a little janky before, or you could tell this is not good. But I really liked that game, and I'm glad it's getting a sequel.
Yeah, same here. I'm really looking forward to what they do with it. I like that Mizuki's the protagonist.
You liked Mizuki?
She was funny. Yeah, she was like a little gremlin character. She was just this strange little girl who'd say shit, and it always made me go, oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some people didn't like her, and I'm like, what are you talking about? She's awesome. Yeah. I do like that it's coming out in spring 2022, and I'll tell you why right now, Spencer Legacy.
Tell me.
GDC, Spike Chunsoft loves GDC, and we're going. You heard it here first.
Oh,
we're going.
Events are going to be back.
2022. Also, Noisy Pixels going to PAX West. We got our hotel booked. We got our flights booked. We are 0.5 miles away from the event. So if you want to fucking party, you know who to call.
Oh man, that's so cool. I'm stuck up here.
It's okay. Maybe we'll bring Spencer down with us. We'll see.
We'll pack me a little suitcase.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what COVID brings us.
We'll see. I get my second shot Sunday. So I'll be all prepped for events 2 weeks after that.
Yeah. And that's about the time that media registration opens up. So
there you go.
Maybe it's fate.
Maybe it's fate. Maybe it's maybe it's destiny. Maybe it's fate. Maybe it's coincidence. I don't know.
Maybe maybe it's our legacy.
Maybe it's our legacy coming forward. Thank you. Yes.
That's all I have to say about today. How you got anything else? You're good?
No, that was good. That was yet another banger.
We clearly had nothing to talk about, but I'm glad you stuck with us this far.
Thank you. Big kisses to the whole audience.
Let us know your favorite visual novels and stuff, and maybe
what
Spencer will read them.
What should I start with?
He's gonna fall asleep during it.
I'm gonna say, there's no cool objections in this.
Yeah.
I can't yell and watch children die to terrible executions in this.
You can. There's some fucked up visual novels. There's plenty of fucked up visual novels.
Give me legal visual novels. Thank you.
Ooh, then I should not recommend any of the ones that I enjoy.
Oh my. This is the last episode of Unqualified Game Chat. I can't be associated with this anymore.
The gif of the police officers raiding,
busting in the door.
I love that gif.
The door behind you just
boom. Thank you so much for listening, watching. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Have a good week.
Bye, everyone.
Noisy Pixel.